I was a freshman when this happened. I was at youth group. I wasn't very religious, but the girl I liked was. And that day we had an omelet making contest, which me and my group won. And then later on during the day we started reading scripture. And then there was a knock on the door. And Caleb went to go answer the door and to return and say that it was my mom at the door. So I go, embarrassedly walk to the door. I see my mom, my grandma, and my aunt. My grandma and my aunt are from Houston, so I wasn't sure what they were doing there. They just immediately left back to the car. And my mom's telling me that we need to leave now. We need to leave my dad. We're moving to Houston. I didn't know what was going on. I was unconsciously saying, okay, all right. And she just told me to go say goodbye to all my friends. I knock back on the door and Caleb comes and I tell him to tell this girl to come out. And I share her the bad news. We're both crying together, and I tell her that I'll be back, not really knowing if I'll ever be back. So I know the way to Houston, but for some reason older people take the longer way. So we went through Bastrop, and it took like an extra 2 hours. And we stopped at Whataburger. That was when my mom and I had our first heart-to-heart talk about the situation. And she told me that this has to be done. We have to leave. Your dad doesn't love us anymore. So I said, where are you getting your information, Mom? Why are you doing this? Why are we leaving everything? And she just told me that she heard it from her cousins that saw my dad with another woman. And I said, so we're leaving everything behind because of a rumor. And she had nothing to say to that. We then left, and then we finally reached Houston, I think about midnight. We left around 8. And my aunt comes to me and tells me that I can use her phone because she's around the same age as me, so she knows how hard it must be for me to leave everything behind. So I used the phone till about 3 a.m., texting some of my friends, telling them that I won't be coming to school tomorrow. Apparently I moved to Houston. And I wake up, I hear my mom and my grandma talking about enrolling us in school that day. And I just wasn't going to have that. I was just thinking in my head, I love the school I'm at. There's no better school for me. So with hearing that, I walk out trying to relieve some of my frustration. I see a gas station. So I'm thinking, I need to call my dad because I don't want to be here. I get to the gas station. I ask the cashier for his phone. And usually I'm good with numbers because I didn't have a cell phone then. So I grabbed the phone, and then I just blanked for a good 2 minutes, not remembering his number. And then finally, I did remember it, and I called him up. He was already on his way to Houston. And then I told him that I don't want to be here. I miss you, and I know that you still love us. And then he said, I do love you, and thank you for calling me because your mom's not talking to me. I don't even know if she wants to talk to me. And I said, I'm sure she will. And so we hang up, I get back to my grandma's house, and for some reason she already knew that my dad was on his way, and she was getting mad, and she was like, she's gonna call the police if my dad does come to the house. So my dad gets there, she calls the police come, and the police tell her that they can't do anything about my dad just being parked in front of her yard, and that my mom's an adult and she can make the choice to go talk to my dad or not. My grandma didn't like that. She sent the police off to do whatever they're doing. And she just started getting mad at my mom, telling her that my dad's no good. Don't go talk to him. You're gonna stay here and I'm not gonna let you go talk to him. So we were in my aunt's room, just a 10 by 10 room, and it was my grandma and my aunt in one corner and me and my mom in the other corner. And I was just waiting for something to happen, and then my grandma just starts yelling, keep repeating, my dad's no good, don't go talk to him. And I just tried to talk to my mom, telling her that you need to go talk to him because you're acting like a child. You're not talking out your problems. You're just basing this off a rumor. My grandma didn't like that, and my grandma's like that tall, but when she's mad, she feels like So I was a football player, so in my head I was like, come on, Grandma, I'm a football player. We can go. So she gets mad at me and starts yelling at me that I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a kid. I don't know anything about adult business. And I regretfully tell her that she's being a psycho bitch and that she needs to stop getting into our business. And me saying that, I thought I wanted to fight because she kind of deflated, but then she just erupted even more, and that wasn't good. And and then I'm just like, Mom, we have to go. We can't see how she's acting. She's gonna act like this if you mess up one little thing. We just need to go. You need to talk to Dad. So they finally do talk, and as my mom leaves the house, my grandma's immediately already throwing our things out of the house, not even knowing the result of my mom and dad talking. And then with my grandma's actions, my mom was convinced that this isn't the life we should live. So I won. We started packing on the way back to Manor, and so I took a heroic nap because I felt that I saved my family.